What's down, people, and welcome back to another episode of Ghetto Gospel. So where we left off at. Last week, we talked about Jacob making his way back to his hometown after God told him to go back and that he was going to be with him. We also talked about how when his brother found out he was on his way, he was headed out to meet him along with 400 of his homeboys. The last thing we talked about was how Jacob got all spooked and sent a bunch of animals to try and bribe his brother to chill, and how he ended up wrestling some dude all night to get a blessing. Yeah, a lot happened last week. And now we caught up. Now, before we get into this episode, the one thing you gotta remember is that the last time Jacob saw his brother Esau, he had tricked that man out of his inheritance, and Esau was ready to send that boy up for it. When you keep that in mind, that make a lot of stuff in this chapter make a whole lot more sense. So the first thing you say in chapter 33 is that Jacob looked up and saw his brother coming with 400 men. Yeah, I'd be spooked too. So he took all of his kids and basically made the kids stand with their mamas. So he put the slave women and their kids first, then he put Leah and her kids next, and he put Rachel and Joseph last. And so Jacob walked in front of him and kept bowing down on the ground like 7 times while he was walking to go meet his brother. But his brother ran up on him and they hugged and kissed each other, and it say they both started crying. I'm guessing it was these kind of tears. So then Esau looked up and saw Jacob's wives and his kids, and he was like, "Who all these folks is with you?" And Jacob was like, "Oh, these the kids God to give your servant." And I know that sound weird to us, but the word they use for servant could mean like somebody that's your equal, but it could also mean that you saying somebody way above you. So after Jacob said that, the slave women and their kids came and bowed down. Then Leah and her kids came and bowed down. And then Rachel and Joseph bowed down last. And so Esau was like, "What you trying to do with this whole parade out there?" And Jacob was like, "I'm just trying to make sure we good." And Esau was like, "I got enough, bro. Keep what you got." And Jacob was like, "Nah, bro. If we good, then take this gift from me. Seeing your face is like seeing God's face." I still ain't too sure what he meant by that. "Cause you ain't tripping and we good." So them boys went back and forth until Esau finally took the gift. And so then Esau was like, "Come on, bro. Let's keep it moving. I'll roll with y'all." And Jacob was like, you know the kids is weak, and I got flocks that's still nursing." That mean they still on their mama's milk. "You know, if I drive them hard for one day, the whole herd gonna die. How about you going to hit us and we'll be behind you? And we'll catch up to you at Sia, but we just gonna keep moving at a slower pace. You know, cause of the kids and the animals." And Esau was like, "Well, how about I just leave some of my people with y'all then?" And Jacob was like, come on, bro. You ain't gotta do all of that." And I'm gonna take a quick pause to point something out right here that we don't usually think about here in the Western world. I done spent some time in the Middle East, and I got a homeboy with roots in that part of the world. And one of the things that's common with folks over there is the whole idea of hospitality. I know if you watch the news, that's probably hard to believe, but, well, let's just say the news don't always tell the whole story or paint the full picture. The point is, folks out there believe in hospitality, and turning down hospitality or a gift, no matter how big or how small it is mad insulting. And from what I hear, it's been like that for thousands of years. And I think that's important to keep in mind when you think about how Esau then went from wanting to kill Jacob to showing him hospitality, and Jacob then turned it down twice. So anyway, Esau headed back to Seir. That's the city he was posted up in, where Jacob said he was gonna meet him at. But Jacob decided to bust a move, head to another city, and build out a spot where his family and his animals could post up. And so the last few verses of the chapter just say that Jacob made it safe to Canaan, bought a piece of land from this local dude, set up an altar to God, and called it the altar to the God of Israel. So that's it for this week. If you don't know Jesus, but you're trying to get to know him, go and click that first link in the description down there. I'll see y'all next week, and as always, peace, and I hope y'all people straight.